here we go. All right. What's up? Miguel, the host of Life Full Circle Radio. Welcome to the show today. Little computer acting a little funny today. I don't know. Both of them tripping, but it's all good. We're going to be all right. Miguel Lloyd, host of Life Full Circle Radio. Today we're going to jump into the show today. We're going to be talking about Diddy. And the latest on that, Roland Martin is trying to tell everybody to slow down because they say it's been sold, but they said it's not been sold. If y'all see me kind of doing this is because right here I've got the LSU Iowa game on, and I am all into women's basketball right now. It's actually been better than the men's tournament, no doubt, and they're playing right now, but we'll be checking it out. Trump is just got finished his first run of Bible selling around Easter, and so there's that. We'll talk about that just a little bit. I'll be sure, who is the father of one of the boys, Quincy Brown is his name, I believe, and I'm sure super producer will correct me if I'm wrong, but he was a long time son of Diddy, and so, but he's basically was his surrogate stepfather. The boy's father was, I'll be sure, a long time R&B legend. And he said he's talking about with a documentary, and you know, when he get Benjamin Crump to come out and do a press conference with him, you know he's serious. Pause for effect. All right, so let me bring in my crew. Of course, you follow us on the social media. Make sure you follow us specifically on YouTube, because we're trying to get that up. Come check us out. You see we're live right now on YouTube. Go check us out on YouTube. You figure out a lot of our old clips and some of the funniest one, man, Who's the GOAT? That was a pretty cool one that we had a lot of fun with. But follow us on all the socials. In addition to that, I want to run this affiliate video right now because we are in the affiliate business and we are trying to earn free commissions here and there. Here's Ecamm, which you see the platform we're on right now. This guy's looking real flying.
Everything's blank. Hello, everybody who's watching, who can hear us, but who cannot see us. Hi, guys. What's up? It's your girl, Kia. I am so happy to be here on this happy Monday to talk about a lot of things. So while Miguel is not here, I can talk about what I want to talk about. So let's start off the show with the dumbest argument that I've ever heard. And that is the fact that there were a lot of people who are Christians who are online and mad that transgender Acknowledgement Day, Survivalist Day.
See, this why I can't. This why I gotta stop.
I'm doing it. Wait, I'm gonna get it.
Go
Transgender
ahead.
Awareness Day, whatever. It's a special day for the transgender community. I got it. Also fell on Easter, and a lot of people are just like, "Oh my God, why are they ruining Christianity?" Biden put out a statement saying, "Congratulations for Trans Visibility Day. We're so happy that you all are here. We believe in your existence." And people are like,
Right.
Joe Biden is trying to replace Easter with Transgender Visibility Day. When in reality, Transgender Visibility Day has been around since 2009. Easter, for some inexplicable reason, switches days.
It's explicable. It can be explained.
Why?
It's based on the the full moon, the solar Easter, and it's like a week after that or something like that. And because this is a leap year, this was a leap year, so it would have been April 1st on the other day, but this year.
So Jesus rose next to the sun or next to the Easter?
I'm not getting into the calendar and what they be doing and how they be doing it. I'm just telling you that's why Easter moves around based on yeah. So
Easter moved and they happen to fall on the same day. And I saw a lot of people in the comments saying, and even celebrities, Tyrese, who's never on the right side of anything. He couldn't even be on the right side of this. And he was like, how dare you, Joe Biden, ruin Easter and make it a trans day when did you see that conversation? I saw it on social media and was like, I don't understand. These people are nuts.
No, not at all. And like you said, if I don't know why you think I'll be in these social media streets like you. I don't.
Y'all trying to tag him the neighborhood talk post. He was like, "Do not tag me
Do
on
not
this
tag
post."
me, not near neighborhood talk post. I'm out of that neighborhood. That neighborhood is treacherous. They over there
It
stabbing
is
people and doing a whole lot
dangerous.
of wildness over there neighborhood talk. I'm done with them. Took me about 3 weeks. All right, let's jump into today's show. We're already in it, but let's jump a little bit further. Diddy is back in the news. Well, he gonna stay in the news, and we're trying to figure out because it's pretty much now every man, woman for himself. They all throwing Diddy under the bus. They caught a video of him in Miami. Him and who was it? Oh, Stevie J. I think one of his longtime producers was in Miami
Stevie
with
J
him.
and some millionaire or billionaire. They were out at brunch. Who cares? And then he was also seen with his twin daughters, leaving Top Golf, and he was doing a little peace sign. He was so happy, and I think he posted his daughter love for Easter and her little Easter outfit. And of course, he turned the comment. I think he's turned the comments off for everything on his post, which is the only way to survive. I would. I would. Yeah. I would. I know we're making jokes, but there are very serious accusations that are starting to trickle down to multiple people. I mean, a lot of women who have even been associated with Diddy are now being called sex workers or prostitutes. And that's just kind of like...
So here's interesting. And that was interesting. And I had a conversation with a lawyer friend of mine this past week. And she's a woman. And so I'm always very careful when I have these type of conversation with women because you got to be careful in how you even approach a conversation. And she's a lawyer. So, but my thing with it is I started to say, well, hold on. He is being charged with sex trafficking, which is taking people across state lines to have sex for money. Is basically what. And my only thing that makes me pause is saying, if that's the case, and if it's that subjective, then it may be a whole lot of these cases about to hit the litigious streets, because there's a lot of folks who hang out with these celebrities, whether it be rappers or whether it be actors or whoever, ball players, whatever. They hang in, they just want to, so you're saying if somebody gives you an airline ticket and fly you from Vegas to LA and you party hard and she gets mad 10 years later, can she charge you with sex work? Well, her response to me immediately, out of respect, she said, well, Miguel, I've heard a lot of stuff. She's actually an entertainment lawyer. I've heard a lot of stuff that Diddy has got some real treacherous stuff in his past. And I left it at that. But my point still stands, because I don't know, man. I just, Diddy aside, this could get ugly and could be ruining a lot of people's lives. And Lord knows if they deserve it, they deserve it. But if you just partying and hanging out, I don't know.
But not even just Diddy. Think about the rock groupies from back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. I'm almost shocked that none of those girls, because we know all of those girls were on those buses. They were having sex to get on the bus. They would go from city to city just to be with the band, just to be a part of the group, just to hang out with the band. And I think there was a whole movie about that where the girls were just groupies.
Right.
I'm surprised, and maybe those girls have come out, but it was settled so quickly and quietly. It didn't get to the Shade Room. It didn't get to People Magazine. It didn't get anywhere.
Right.
There was no Shade Room. And maybe all those groupies got their money. Maybe all those groupies had those babies, got their abortions paid for, and that was it.
Well, be sure, let's be crystal clear. I'm not making light of any of this, right? I'm not making light of this stuff. But my question is that I need. That's why I told you, I need to get my hands on the transcript or the actual legal documents to kind of review them the filing to review it, because I'm just like, man. And when this social media come up in era we're in right now, he obviously ain't the first. He ain't gonna be the last. This is somebody who was on the billionaire list just 6 months ago. as far as black billionaires, and his worth is a wrap. It's going
Well,
down.
let's talk about you bringing up him being a black millionaire. We have the conspiracy theorists, which every time something happens to a black man, everybody turns into a conspiracy. Everybody turns into Negro Damas, and we got to hear all they theories and thoughts. And well, no. So a lot of people are saying that he's being brought down because he was a black billionaire. And my thing is, black billionaire, white billionaire, broke boy from down the street. There are women from decades ago who are saying these things happen to them.
Yeah.
So is he? And then they're saying that Diddy's just a pawn. It's like, can y'all just stop with the conspiracy theories and just realize there are men in entertainment who have done these things and that they need to be called down to the carpet for it. They absolutely. Oh, why is Roly Poly on my screen?
Go finish your thought. Roly Poly is Roland Martin is coming back, because I got a point to make with that too. Because it's
cool.
Finish your point. Finish your point.
But a lot of people are saying, oh, they're just trying to get all the black men, and they always forget about the white men that this happens to, which it annoys me as a black person. They're like, well, it was only Jeffrey Epstein. It was only Harvey Weinstein. It was also Les Moonves. People always forget about Les Moonves. Do you know who Les Moonves is?
He's the former executive with, what was it, NBC, I think, or ABC, one of the two.
CBS. He was the former CEO.
Okay, the other one.
The third one I don't nobody watch all the time, but he was the CEO at CBS. His wife Julie Chen was on the talk and that whole thing. And when it came down, it ended up being like 14 women. That that accused him, and everybody seems to magically forget about Roger Ailes, who had multiple docu-series and movies come out about all the sexual assault and victims that he had at Fox News, including celebrity.
Right. It is. You're right. There's no refuting what you're saying at this point. It's not. When it comes down to it, when we look at this thing, you just you get to the point. We get caught up in the celebrity of it, and I'll be, Diddy is a part of take that. I was in the club, with Bad Boy. That when I was out in the club, he was the soundtrack about 10 summers in a row.
How was that prom?
Whatever. And so, but now you're hearing people from the industry that are coming out, and the people who've been in the industry for a long time, they're not coming out and defending Diddy. They're basically saying, like, we've known about this for years. Like, whoa. But it's the entertainment industry, right? And there are not great people in all industries. It's not great people that's picking up my garbage every week. We don't know
absolutely
these people.
Right.
We don't know these
jackasses
people.
in every job, vertical,
in
anything.
Every job, every vertical.
Everybody church. Jamal Bryant.
Why you keep riding on my frat Jamal Bryant? Jamal Bryant ain't
fine.
got nothing to
Eddie
do.
Long, God rest his soul.
Anyway, you distracted me from my show today. Anyway, point being, Diddy's got it's going to keep coming. And here's the thing: a lot of people talk about Diddy and about his worth. His worth was really based in a lot of brand. When they talk about his current worth with his because he had the long time Sean John line that was in Macy's forever. That dissipated about 2 years ago, a year or two ago. Yes. Then you have the liquor brand. He was with them for 15 to 20 years.
Ciroc, yes.
And the whole thing about it is that he was not owning these brands, right?
No.
He sold the Sean John brand in pieces after a while, but he never owned the liquor brand. That was always a marketing deal. So in essence, for all of us social media influencers, social media YouTubers and peace, he had a really, 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 really big brand deal to go out there and tell everybody to drink Ciroc. And then, a lot of people in the industry are basically saying when he started to stir up that pot, that's when the ish started to hit the fan.
Because didn't he say like either he wasn't getting enough money from Ciroc or wanted to change the deal or something? They were like, no, this is the deal you've agreed. Again, bad contracts. Yeah. Bad Boy's known for that. Yeah. You signed this contract years ago, and this contract is what it is. Yeah. But in Diddy's defense, when nobody studied Ciroc had been out for a while. It wasn't until Diddy started promoting it that people started drinking Ciroc.
Yeah, true. But that's just like anybody else. You get hired for a job.
That's true.
He did his job, and he wanted to renegotiate his deal, and he went too far. And if it got to that point that was part of the reason why he is now in the ish that he's in right now, God bless him, because we really, they always talk about how many black billionaires that there are. You can almost name it on one hand. You got Diddy, questionable. You've got Jay-Z, and you've got Robert Smith, and you got Oprah, and you got MJ. you cannot count on hands, feet, and toes how many white billionaires there are in the United States, let alone the world. And so he came in as a multi-millionaire trying to go after billionaires, and it looks like he might have lost. And that's the part that that is unsettling. But as we talk about this, I'm looking at this story around Diddy and the cell. So Diddy reportedly parts ways with Revolt amid alleged accomplice being arrested by federal agents. And so this is part of the story. The reason why we had my man Roland Martin up on the screen is because Roland, who is obviously very deep in these black journalism streets, he has been refuting this all week about this story, and he had some choice words to say for black media. So here's Roland.
I don't care if it's about HBCUs. I don't care if it's about Vice President Kamala Harris. We owe it to black people. And we owe it to all those black people that are on my wall in there that started black-owned media. We owe it to Frederick Douglass and Ida B. Wells Barnett and Robert Abbott and A.I. Scott and Charlotta Bass and John H. Johnson and Chuck Stone and again Ethel Payne and Alice Dunnigan and Louis Martin and Earl Graves and Ed Lewis and on and on and on to get it right for our people. This is the mistake that black-owned media cannot.
So Roland Martin's point was, anyway, you rather hear from somebody from neighborhood talk. Roland Martin's point, which is another part of the conversation. So basically his point is this: Black Enterprise rushed to the story and said that Revolt has been sold. He basically said that's not true. Revolt is not sold. I know from high sources. The sources that could be as close as there's plenty of people that we can reach up to and know that Roland may know DeTavio, he may know Teslin Figaro, he may know the board members that are over at Revolt. He probably knows it. I'm sure Roland knows everybody. Why? Because in part, we're at a point now that what is the most respected black mediums out there now that are black owned? You know,
that are black owned.
Black Enterprise is one. Is one.
Oh, Black Enterprise.
But the
Essence.
point, the Essence, which right. So we went through that period where Essence was not black owned, and supposedly the person who now owns Essence is now who supposedly owns Revolt, and the guy Richelieu. And so Richelieu Dennis or Dennis Richelieu, which one is it? I think Richelieu is his first name. So anyway, point being, people are rushing to get these headlines and to get this clickbait. And I don't know, do we even know what to trust anymore in what we read and what we see? And this is long before we really get deep into the AI, because AI is pumping fakes all day long with people creating content.
That's a whole separate.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, well, just to say something really quick, AI models are about to put y'all IG models out of business. Y'all better be careful. All y'all Instagram models and TikTok models who are putting y'all butts all out there and looking all sexy flexy and ain't got no other career other than Instagram models. They're putting AI models out there to model these Fashion Nova clothes and close these deals.
That's wild.
With less problems. And men and people can't tell the difference.
So they're doing fashion. Wow. They're doing the Fashion Nova and Shein deals and all that, huh?
There are men right now liking mad posts about AI IG models, and they don't even know these girls are not real. So there's that.
It's wild.
Anyway, whether Revolt is sold or not, it's still run by DeTavio. DeTavio is still sitting at the scene. I don't think they're going to change that. So
he has a board to answer to. Once you sell, the board changes, and we'll see how things go. But the point is that part of the point is that you have this situation where black media, man, he's doing something. The whole Revolt, they're doing some dope stuff with content over there and telling storytelling. And then once you start getting other people involved, now mind you do have I always forget his name. I don't know why I always forget his name. Anyway, what's the brother's name? Who bought the Weather Channel?
Al Roker?
No, bought the Weather Channel. Don't work on the Weather Channel. Oh, Jesus.
I don't know.
You do know.
I don't know.
Bought the Weather Channel.
Bob Johnson?
No, Bob Johnson didn't buy the Weather Channel. We've
The
talked
Weather
about this. We
Channel.
talked about him many times in the show. Bought the Weather Channel.
Allen Media? Byron Allen!
Byron Allen. Doggone it. Byron continues to move, you know, and I believe he's got a bid up there for something major he's trying to buy.
VH1. VH1 MTV.
Yes, he's trying to buy the BET deal and all of that. And so I don't know, man. This stuff keeps getting uglier and uglier. But one last thing before we get out of this Diddy conversation. Torre.
Diddy's going to jail. Did we just put that out? Diddy is going to jail. Now, do I think he's going to be doing Weinstein or R. Kelly time? Maybe not. If he's smart, he'll cut a deal. If he's smart, he won't go through all this.
What deal is he going to cut? I don't even know what
I
deal
don't know.
he's going to cut.
Honestly, I feel like, and this is going to sound so messed up, as long as they don't discover that he is dealing with underage girls, I think there might be a chance that he gets out of this. Maybe, possibly, maybe. But
so I'm just, you know, we got to find ourselves an attorney who can talk to this to a little bit more detail. Because
I will find one.
How hard is it to prove sex trafficking? Because I have a lot of, I asked the questions earlier and I ask it again. Someone says they want to come party with you and they live in Atlanta and they fly to Vegas with you and they know why they want you to party with them. You get there and then all of a sudden, you know, you out there and getting relations with his crew voluntarily. Then 20 years later, it's how hard is it, you know, how hard is that to prove?
No, I'm on your side. I agree with you. It can't just be that you got flued out. Like, you know, that's the term they use. They got flued out. It can't just be that. And I feel like there's other factors. Because when you hear some of these girls' stories, it's not just that I got flued out. Sometimes it's I thought I was going to go spend time with Diddy and hang out with Diddy, and I thought we were going on a date, and it evolves into something else where now you are having sex with multiple people and you thought it was fun, but in reality you didn't know what was going to happen, so you just did it. So I think there's multiple aspects of it, but we do need to get a lawyer to explain to us and our viewers about what it actually means when it comes to sex trafficking. Because like I said last week, I think everybody thinks sex trafficking and you think gangs, you think cartels, you think women who are being beat beyond an inch of their life and told either have sex or we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
Or we're taking you to the Super Bowl party, have sex or we're going to kill you. We think of that. And those things do happen, but I don't know if, like what Miguel said, we don't know if that's actually what's happening here. So let's move on to the next story. We're
gonna move on. Oh, all my little sharing of the show was popping up on the screen. Wonderful.
You are definitely on your own Facebook page right now making posts.
Hey man, you know that's what we do. We're sharing it out. So anyway, let's move on. What's the next thing we want to talk about today? As we didn't talk about, as we mentioned, Torre, who's the guy.
We didn't.
We didn't talk about Torre. And Torre is a famous black journalist who says his cousin, he got his cousin a job with Diddy, and supposedly he was abruptly fired because he was told basically by Diddy is what the claim is that you either come spend the night with me or you lose your internship. I don't know, man. It's just. I don't know, man. I knew some wildcats, you know, when I was younger and hanging out in the streets. But this type of stuff, man, is beyond anything that I could fathom that these grown men was out here soliciting young dudes like that. But
I mean, Diddy had the power to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely from a power.
So
sure.
When you have somebody like a Diddy, and again, I put them all in the same thing. You have a Diddy who's promising you success. You have a Harvey Weinstein who's promising you a success. Yeah. You have R. Kelly who's promising you a singing career. It's easy for them just to ask because they're probably thinking the worst case scenario, they can go and say no. And if they ever tell anybody, nobody's going to believe them. So who cares?
So before we get off Diddy, and I think I asked you this during our production meeting, is Diddy in the R. Kelly category now?
No. I only say no with a weird face is because it hasn't been shown. There's been one girl who said she was 17 when they had sex. But if you do the math, when she was 17, Diddy was 23. So, though that's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like when
that's always a gray That's all.
It's a gray area. That's
Gray
that,
area.
that and let's be honest, at 17, 18, 19, and somebody in their early 20s, it's a weird gray area. With R. Kelly was 27.
27,
Those girls were
28,
13.
13, 14. No, there is no gray area. There's nothing gray there.
So I don't know.
And
I don't think Diddy is in that area, but I do think he's in Harvey Weinstein territory.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I think that I don't know, man. This stuff is wild, and you know they always say, man, don't meet your heroes. I'm not saying Diddy was ever one of my heroes. I enjoyed listening, partying to a lot of bad boy music over the years, but it's just terrible to see, because beyond that, the music, what he's done in business for the last 30 years has been something that, as a businessman, I always aspire to. You know, I want to have that level of accomplishment, but I definitely ain't trying to drag people and sexually assault and all that crap on the way up. Anyway. All right, let's move on, man.
Can we jump to something that's not on our list that's actually breaking news right now? That I hate living in Florida. Let me just put that out there. So Florida has just announced.
What? Go ahead. Come on.
Florida has just announced.
Come on.
Florida courts allowed 6-week abortion ban, but voters will get to weigh in. So basically what's going to happen is, right now there is a 12-week abortion ban in the state of Florida. They are now putting a 6-week abortion ban in, they're trying to put it in, and people are going to be able to vote on it in November. This is why this is very dangerous. I am someone who technically had an abortion. And I had an abortion after my pregnancy of 9 weeks was not a viable pregnancy. And my doctor looked me in my face and said, okay, you can have a DNC, but that is going to cause damage, or you can take the misoprostol pills.
DNC.
It's the surgical abortion. It's when they put you to sleep, basically, and surgically remove everything. Or you can take the misoprostol pills that'll allow your body to do it naturally, and it'll give you a much higher chance of having birth in the future. And I took the misoprostol pills. My babies will be 3 tomorrow. And I'm happy that me and my husband made that decision. So if this passes, what happened to me could happen to any woman. 1 out of 4 women will have a miscarriage. And they will have to make a very hard decision, and they won't be able to anymore. People always think the women out here having abortions, it's just the women who don't want their pregnancy. Abortion covers a wide gamut of actual health care that your doctors provide you. And again, I don't think birth control. I don't think abortion should be used as birth control. I think in the instance of rape and incest, it should be. I think that before we're talking about banning abortion, how about we make it easier for mothers to give birth? No one's talking about that. So this, to me,
what does that look like?
I feel passionately about it because I'm sorry.
Birth. What does that look like? You say for make it easier for women to have birth to give birth.
So number one is, you know, when women when you have a baby. It's very expensive when you have a baby. A lot of doctors' offices, your OBGYN, they want their payment up front for the birth. So that's $2,500 minimum you're coming out of pocket right away and giving to your doctor, not including your insurance. Can we get help for women to cover that cost? Can we make sure that women get health care through their entire pregnancy? Can we make sure that when they leave the hospital, they do have services? And again, and here's the rub for me as a Republican, who's paying for that? So we don't want to have an abortion, but we don't want to. Do we really want to pay for all of these funds that they're going to need? And then when the child becomes of age after they leave the woman's body, that child still needs care.
Absolutely.
And even outside of that, let's say, you know, when women do back alley abortions, which is extremely dangerous, but Miguel remembers those days. I know you were probably a little kid, but you remember those horror stories about women doing that. How is that going to be treated? What about all the girls in high school who give birth at proms in their backyards and bury their babies and said they were dead? Are these girls now going to get life on death row? How is this all supposed to work? It's just ban abortion, but there's no plan outside of that.
Yeah, you know, one of the conversations that anytime I would talk to my friends who worked in pastorates, who pastors and ministers, when you start the conversation on, okay, you know, just women just need to be, you know, abstinent. Okay, well, that's just not reality. A lot of people are not abstaining. And so once they make that choice, but in a situation where it can, there's a state representative, I believe, out in Arizona, where the woman said her and her family had to make the decision to terminate the pregnancy because she has problem pregnancies. And her doctor told her that was the best thing was to terminate the pregnancy was not viable. And then when you question people in the faith to say, so what is she supposed to do? What would God tell her to do? And that's the one area where they can't find a scripture. They can't come heavy with an answer for that. You just because that's reality. And not saying that the word is not reality. I'm a Christian of faith and all of that, but this type of stuff is so hard, man. And they try to make it either a zero-sum game, and it's not.
And you can't.
It's not a zero-sum game when people are making these decisions about their lives and what they're doing with their lives and with their bodies and trying to live on.
And there's men making these decisions who have never sat on a table, laid on a table.
Mm-hmm. There's women too.
With an ultrasound monitor on your stomach,
right,
and hearing nothing. And having the doctor look at you and say, I'm sorry, your baby's not alive anymore. I know what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know other women who know what that feels like. I know other women who didn't just have the doctor tell, oh, your child has Down syndrome. No, your child has a dangerous fetal disease where they when they get born, they'll only be alive for an hour. Is that what you want your baby to go through? The 1 hour of life they have, they're in excruciating pain, all because you just had to give birth to them? How does that work? How is that what God wants? How does that make sense? You know, and again, I'm not talking about people, and I appreciate you letting me just rant about this for a little bit.
Yeah.
I get that there are women out there who are having abortions, who have them and probably and then shouldn't have, or whatever. They made a bad decision.
Sure.
Also, women are out here having an abortion after an abortion after an abortion. Whoever thinks that is dumb. Most women who have an abortion have one in their lifetime. For whatever reason, they have one in their lifetime, and either they make the decision after that to not be a parent, or they get on birth control, do what they need to do, or they go on later to be parents in a better, stable situation.
Right.
You know, all these stories, and there was a Republican guy who's running. He's a Republican black guy who's running for governor in some weird state, some backwoods hick state, who said that
there's one running in North Carolina. There's a black dude
maybe
running
it's
for governor
him.
in North Carolina. Go ahead.
Is he fat? Does he kind of look like
chubby.
Fat Albert?
He's kind of chubby.
Okay, it's him. He actually said when you talk about incest and rape, it muddies the waters of the abortion bills. It muddies the waters. We all know what he's saying. He's basically saying, you know, we can't talk about the girls who were raped by a family member and got pregnant. No. That helps the wrong narrative. Oh, we can't talk about the girls who were raped or sex trafficked. No. We can only talk about the whores who were leaving the club, who got knocked up, and now they want an abortion.
Right. Because it's easy to villainize that young lady.
Yeah.
It's easy to villainize the one who's going for the plan B. It's not easy.
But they can't villainize women like me. They just ignore us. Yeah. Our story is well, that's technically not an abortion. Well, if you ban the misoprostol, if you ban DNCs, it affects all the women who want to get pregnant. It affects all of us. It affects all women. So that's right, Moran. Florida sucks.
Let's lighten it up a little bit. We're gonna go to What. Hopefully everything fires off.
Trump's got Bibles. Trump's got Bibles. Trump's got Bibles. Trump's got Bibles. Yes. Everyone's favorite orange demon. I'm just joking. Everybody's favorite former non-successful, twice impeached president is now issuing Bibles. He is actually spending, let me just get the right price for you. He is actually selling his Bibles for, I think it's $59.99. Trump Bible. Just make sure I got the information correct. Hold on. Yes. Trump is selling God Bless You $59.99 Bibles. And the Bible, let's see, urging supporters to buy the God Bless the U.S. Bible, which is inspired by country singer Lee Greenwood's patriotic ballad. Trump takes the stage to the song at each of his rallies and has appeared with Greenwood events. But no one is, here's the thing, is it just a leather-bound regular Bible, or does it have like his speeches attached to it?
It has the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and some other things inside of it that should not be inside of a Bible.
Isn't it? You should, the church versus state, or the band church separate from state.
But that but this generation of these folks, they don't live by that. That was our generation, the church versus state. These rascals are church versus church and Republican versus everybody else. Not knowing there's a bunch of churches all over on the left too.
Well, let me tell you, listen. Trump, this is to me, as a Christian woman, this is the worst grift ever. I don't care about him hawking sneakers and knives and all that kind of stuff. You hawk away. January 6th choir album on Spotify. Y'all trying to get a Grammy, whatever. But you're now hawking Bibles. I remember a distinct story in the Bible. No, I'm about to get it wrong. Somebody's gonna try to say it. But God said, do not worship false idols. Do not have false idols before me. Having a Trump Bible is having a false idol before God. Is it not? It is, right?
That's how I would interpret it. Yeah. Anything that involves Trump and faith and Christianity, to me, just does not fit. The Christian reaction to Trump's Bible endorsement goes deeper than you think. There are a lot of folks who don't agree with what he's doing. And all of that, and I applaud them for having the guts not to let, these folks are at a crossroads right now. They're trying to figure out, how do they get what they want? How do they get what they want, which is this white man in power, because that's really what it boils down to for a lot of them. It's just, he's our guy. It's like
he's our God. That's how it's coming across. He's our God.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But then they look at this type of stuff in $59.99, and he starts talking about how it's his favorite book and all this type of stuff. Like, dude, you didn't even know. Man, stop with the lies, bro. I look at this.
He called it 2 Corinthians. He called 2 Corinthians 2 Corinthians.
And I just look at this thing, and I'm just like, I would feel so insulted if I got an email from this clown saying he bought this, because he's selling these little emails and sending them all the way around, and he's driving up his revenue by doing this. And so
his daughter-in-law Laura Trump, she has a single out.
Single of what?
A single sheet of paper. She has a song out, like a musical single. Let's see if we can find it. We got time. Laura Trump.
We don't have time. What time is it? I'm going to get back to the game. Oh, man.
Laura
LSU is down.
I got one more what for you that's going to make you go, But hold on a second. Laura Trump's new single. Let's see. The newly minted RNC co-chair released she's the new RNC co-chair? Nope. Nah, I can't go for it. Nah, just made me stop. That's ridiculous, y'all. Laura Trump.
But we knew this. We knew this was going to... I don't give a dog on what Trump does. If Trump loses, God bless, hopefully he will in November. We're not done with the Trumps. The Trumps are going to be a thorn in our side for the next generation or two. They're not going.
Well, Biden's, sorry for interrupting you, but this is an important piece of fact that Biden's recent rally where Bill Clinton was there and Obama showed up raised more money in one night than Trump made in all of March and February. So even Charlie Kirk and a lot of those pundits are just like, yo, we're being outgunned. And you absolutely are, because you keep doing dumb shit. That's why you guys are getting outspent. Like, that's why this is happening.
Yeah, but when it's all said and done, it's always safe to go back to the stock market. So Trump has merged with another media company, Trump Social. He's now the majority stockholder in Truth Social. You can go to your Robinhood or go to your any other, and now you can buy Trump stock for at Trump DJT is the stock symbol. But to many, you buy this stock, you can't sell it. It's really like you're just giving money away. Man, this world is something else, man. I'm telling y'all, if you don't learn how to play this game, if we don't learn how to play this game, which is being played, you'll be played by it, and that's pretty point blank. I've been sitting. What are you getting ready to show me? What you getting ready to show me?
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
This is sad,
no,
man.
I'll stand my ground.
This is America. This is America.
If this don't scream, go get your KKK robe, I don't know what does, Sha. I really don't. That screams, go grab a torch and your khaki shirt.
And here's the funny thing. Why folks are not trying to hide who they are anymore. And you know what? There's some, and can we transition to what's her name? Cowboy Carter. Because
no, I got one more noggin scratching. What for you?
Oh, Jesus.
One second. I got to make sure I get this right.
I hope it's not
I'm gonna
another
read it
song
properly.
by a Trump person.
It's not. Okay. And keep a straight face. Conjoined twins.
Oh, Jesus. I don't even know how.
One conjoined twin has married one guy. The other conjoined twin is just along for the ride. Tell me how that works. They are conjoined. You know the story of the conjoined twins, Abby and what is the other twin's name? I should know. I mean, they're right next to each other all the time.
No, I'm not in there.
Abby and Brittany Hensel. Abby and Brittany Hensel are conjoined twins. It looks like they are one body that shares a head, but they don't. So from the chest up, they have two separate hearts, two sets of lungs. But then when you go below the chest, they have the same body parts, meaning the same. They only have one vagina and they only have two legs, whatever.
Okay.
So if he's married to one conjoined twin, how does that work? Go, Miguel.
I have no opinion. I refuse. I will not entertain this tomfoolery.
How do you only marry one twin? They're so close together. They're attached to each other. When you fall in love with both.
So do they have separate social security numbers, and do they have separate lives?
Yes.
Like if the other one gets married, do they?
Apparently, the other one got married. The other one is just along for the ride. Brittany got married. Abby got married. Brittany didn't get married. Brittany is just there. You can change the subject. Okay.
Is my cricket thing? Can you hear that?
I can hear your crickets. Let's talk about Cowboy Carter. So not so much in Huh What, but
and that's your Huh What segment of the week. All right, so Cowboy Carter, which is the new movement. I just call everything Beyonce does. They pretty much movements now. She's dropped this country album, and Friday, I guess it was, and the first thing people was doing, hey, black folk, here's the thing. For you to jump on these internet streets and talk about how much the Cowboy Carter, or whatever it is the album called Cowboy Carter?
It's called Act 2 Cowboy Carter.
Okay. So for you to jump on these internet streets saying how much it sucks and you don't listen to country music at all.
No, I do, so.
People, I can't stay. You don't like country music. You're not supposed to like
But it's not country music. It's not a bad. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad album.
Yeah.
Beyonce is very creative. She's a good singer. She knows how to work a song. She has remade Jolene. I'm not a fan of the new remade version, but the new remade version is fun. She's a good, talented singer. But this album doesn't scream country. She has country black artists on it, which is great. Raina Roberts, Taylor, Buckle Bunny Girl, whose song I love, Taylor Adele.
Yeah.
Leave no crumbs. And there's a couple other black male artists she has on there, and she pays homage to some classic people. She plays a homage to Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson. I was kind of surprised that Hootie wasn't on there. You know Hootie, Damian Ruckus or Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Darius Rucker, yeah.
Darius. I thought he'd be on there, but he might have been in jail when this was recorded. I do not know.
He
had that
weed issue. Stop it. Why would Darius? He
had that weed issue. He got arrested.
You spend too much time in these internet streets. How in the world do you have time?
We talked about it on the show. What do you mean? We talked about it here. But the album's good. It's just not a country album to me. What do you think about it?
You know, I have not listened. I've listened to a couple of tracks. I knew that it's not for me. I tried to drop in a couple. Oh God.
Yes, like Uncle Ruckus. I'm so sorry, Andre. Yes, I said Damian Ruckus.
Oh God. I wasn't even. But here's the thing. I said this last week. I said this when all this information was coming out. She's making a point with this album.
Absolutely.
It's not about this music being amazing. It is about making a point. It's about saying, Miss Buckle Bunny Girl, I'm gonna put you on. Other black country artists, I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna bring you in here. I'm gonna show respect to the number one weed smoker, that the only person in public life who we know can smoke Snoop Dogg under the table, and that would be Willie Nelson. You know, and Dolly Parton, who I don't give a dog on who you are. I remember the movie 9 to 5 when I was a youngin'.
Working 9 to 5, working hard to make a living. Yes.
All that stuff. Everybody loves Dolly Parton. Everybody loves Dolly Parton. So when I look at this thing and I hear all the hate and vitriol, Beyonce is one of the few that's in that position where they can step in and say, everybody's going to pay attention when I drop this. And if you're
And they
racist in
did.
these country music streets, it does not matter. Because
And she
people are going
has
to pay
there's
attention.
a song she has with Miley Cyrus. Everybody was like, "This is a duet that I didn't even know I needed," and I've listened to that song.
Uh-huh.
It is a very good duet that you would
Yeah.
never think worked,
Yeah. Why
but
not? They're two
worked.
pop stars. Yeah. To me, yeah.
Well, not that because Miley Cyrus's voice is weird to me, but
It
with
is.
her voice almost sounds like a banjo up against Beyonce's voice,
Mhm.
which works. Like the plunky sound of a banjo is how Miley
Mhm.
Cyrus's voice sounded. When you layer them together, it's like, oh, that's gorgeous. That's
Miley's very
beautiful.
nasally, like, and the whole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just grew up with my child looking at Hannah Montana, so she will always be a layer of Hannah Montana to me. But these youngins don't care, man. These millennials and younger, they and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of racism and a lot of garbage in that place as well, but they just move different, man. It's all of us, these older millennials on up, that these old heads that are still holding on to all this racism. And there's one thing I always rock with Beyonce. Beyonce, when she did the last album, you paid homage to the house music and paid homage to a lot of women in music,
Yeah.
which that album did. She's at a point now that it's all about tours. The music
She's at the
is
I don't
marketed
care
anyway.
point.
Huh?
She's at the I don't care point. She's like, I'm
Right.
at the I don't need this money. I'm doing what I want to do. People
Yeah.
are saying that Act 3 is supposed to be a rock album. That would be very interesting to see how she pulls that off.
That'd be easier
And
than
a lot of
country.
people are speculating
That'd be easier than country.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not if you're going to make a real rock album. If you're about to make some pop Aerosmith bullshit, then fine. But if you're about to make a real rock album,
What's a
then
real rock
that's not
album in
easier.
2024?
So a real rock album would probably be Willow Smith's last album. I know that won't really say anything to you, but that crickets, yes. With that's a real rock album. When you're thinking about here's another person she would work with that would make sense is a Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz is a rock where she can pull.
So let's take it there. And let's take it there. Real rock album featuring Lenny Kravitz, Fishbone,
Willow Smith.
Willow Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith. She had a rock group for a while.
She did.
And then of course there's some that I don't know because I don't follow the rock genre like that.
Yeah, that's a genre. Like country, I can name off some people that I love. When it comes to rock, I'm like,
Right. There's so you go back to some artists who really did it well. In Vogue did a dope rock song back in the day. One of the dopest hip hop songs of all time, Run DMC, and so that'll be easy.
Remember when Garth Brooks had that alter personality that was a rock guy? Chris, whatever it was. Remember that?
Vaguely. Chris, yeah, vaguely. And Lord knows, let her do. I'm surprised, but see some of the legends like Garth Brooks and Darius Rucker, and they said, Beyonce, you don't need us. You go out there and go.
They probably did.
You don't need us. But she's at that point. She's one of the rare artists right now that can go out here and make a statement and do what she wants to do. All right, before we get about
I'm sorry. To the white people who are saying this is not country, every time somebody asks you what makes it not country, y'all have zero response.
None.
So stop saying it's not country if you're not going to tell us why it's not country. I think if it's more of a hip hop, fun pop album, that's my opinion. But I'm not saying that it's. If you say you're a big country fan, then tell us why it's not country. Stop just saying it's not country. Then why?
Right. They don't have an answer. So before we get up out of here, we have to acknowledge the situation in Baltimore with the bridge. For people who may not have missed it or just maybe watching the show down the road a little bit, we're just following up on the conversation that was around what happened with the bridge that collapsed. And you conspiracy theorists out there, I've seen some of the dumbest crap out here. People talking about. That he they ran that bridge on purpose. See, what happened was they did a U-turn and he came around and hit the bridge. Dude, there are people who died in that situation. Show some respect. But when it comes down to infrastructure, it's going to be a long time before that bridge gets rebuilt. And the other thing that people say, they hope that when they rebuild it, they rename it from the Francis Scott Key Bridge, because he was a devout racist, which most of them were back in those days. But praying for those families. And then the whole thing with the mayor of Baltimore, he's a straight up young, I think is he 40? He's
a young black professional.
Yeah. And
he's not 40. He's not 40.
I don't think he's 40. No, I don't think he's 40.
No, he's not 40. I think he might be the same age as me, 39. Scraping that 40 door.
That's close enough. But and you're starting to hear, that some of the clowns out here, oh, he's a DEI hire. First of all, you don't hire a mayor, you elect the mayor. And so for people want to scream that nonsense and it's his fault that it happened and blah, 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 people just find new reasons to be racist buttholes.
They do find the reason to be racist. And it's really crazy because there's now coming out with videos showing barges hitting bridges, which I just think is really goofy. It has nothing to do. There are such things as infrastructure, but that barge hit that bridge after picking up speed it didn't just hit the bridge from going from 7 or 10 feet away. It wasn't being able to stop. It didn't just tap the bridge. It went from a very far away, so far away that police were able to stop people from going on the bridge, but they couldn't reach the construction workers to tell them, hey, you got to get off the bridge. And I think there was one survivor and the rest perished under the bridge. It's very, very sad. And a lot of them were Hispanic, Venezuelan men who were just doing their jobs, and they died. And the mayor is doing what he's supposed to do: give condolences to the family. What can we do? How can we get the city back moving? And people are so concerned about, well, why didn't he do this? Why isn't he already making plans to rebuild the bridge? It's a bridge. Like,
it's a bridge.
There has to be. There's engineers who have to come in and have a whole conversation to rebuild. It's just it's really sad.
The way they talk
but
about that bridge
I feel
is the way that bridge broke. That it's razor sharp, the edges of what is broken off. They have to clean up. They basically said from the bottom of that barge to the bottom of the water is merely inches. That's how they have to be so thorough. And when they're moving that barge is as big as a skyscraper.
It is. It was a huge barge. And the barge that they showed today that was in Ohio, that little dinky barge that we saw today was nothing compared to that huge barge we saw coming out of that port in Baltimore. So prayers up to those families. I feel so bad. And also I want to bring up that another prayers up, because I know nobody's going to say it, but prayers up to the police officer who was shot in cold blood. His funeral was this week. And a lot of people were making comments about why Joe Biden didn't say anything, about his death, and why I think there was a fight with Mayor Adams and some girl who I wanted to strangle on the Breakfast Club about why he attended the funeral and sent condolences to the family. But why isn't he sending condolences to all these other random people? But there was a police officer shouldn't be dying at work, regardless. I know people have issues with them. This police officer, we don't know. He didn't do anything. He was literally doing his job, minding his business, and was shot in cold blood. Like, that's not okay. He was a father.
No,
so
of course it's not
condolences
okay.
to his family.
Absolutely condolences to his family. And let's just pray that Trump did that out of the kindness of his heart and not just because
he didn't.
Right.
He didn't.
Of course he didn't.
Sorry. That's
okay. All right. Shout out to my homie, my man Andre Size and his family were hanging out in the good VA. Went to Virginia Beach for his spring break. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Shout out to Allen Iverson, who had a street named after him back home in Virginia. And my boy called me today and said they're throwing eggs at it. I'm like, what? They doing what? And that because he doesn't really
at the street sign.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I ain't been home. I was like, doggone, I ain't lived in VA. I ain't lived in VA in almost 20 years. It don't even feel like that way because I represent them all day. I'm representing them right now. But it's been almost 20 years. And he was just like, man, a lot of people don't really believe that Chuck's really doing a whole lot down here in VA. And Antoine Padilla, who some football fans would know, played safety or cornerback for the Indianapolis Colts when one of the times when Peyton Manning won a championship. He is from Newport News, and he's supposedly doing a lot of great work out there. So that had turned out well. Looking at this score right now, it's 69-61. Iowa up on LSU. I'm going to watch the fourth quarter with my family. What else we got? What else did we talk about? Let me see.
Just more sad news. Former NFL player Davante Davis dies at the age of 35. They have not released his autopsy report, but it's very sad for a football player to die at age 35. I'm hoping it's not a suicide because that also brings up the whole CTE conversation. So, that's just a really sad thing.
My boy Aaron posted that earlier. Congress axing Office of Diversity and Inclusion slams ongoing Republican attack on woke. There's another example of extreme right prioritizing politics and exclusion over opportunity. TSU, Tennessee State University, they cleared out their entire board of regents, I believe, and the state put their own folk in there. Now, supposedly, they're all Tennessee State graduates, and they all supposed to be down. But when you guys get out here in these streets yelling about what HBCUs are not doing, if your favorite HBCU got the word state behind its name, know that black folks don't own that school. Black folks are Tennessee State and Norfolk State and Virginia State and Elizabeth
What about
City
my
State
school, Florida
University.
A&M University?
Florida A&M is also a state university. Yes, it is.
Yes.
And so I don't even know. You got FAMU. You've got Bethune. Is Bethune private? I'm not.
Bethune is raggedy.
Okay, that's not the question.
That's all that matters. Bethune is raggedy.
Most of these schools are owned by the states that they're in, and so they don't have as much control and influence as you might think. And so take it easy, folks trying to get their degrees and get out of those schools and make a move and try to improve their lives. What else on our little? Let's see if anything else we missed in these internet streets before we get up out of here.
Well, you don't watch Real Housewives of Potomac, so we can't talk about that because that's trending.
I finished up Griselda. We finished up Griselda. You said you're not watching that, but it was fairly.
No, because they're trying to. Okay, guys. Okay. Oh, here's a conversation. Okay. I won't watch Griselda because they are glorifying her like she is some goddess who had to fight for her family and Dolly Parton 9 to 5. That's how they're making her seem, and that's not what she was.
No,
she was a violent murderer.
And she was portrayed as that during its entire. She was portrayed as a violent murderer, drug addict, very controlling, who loved her family. That part was in there. There was part in there. She claimed it was always done for her kids, but she was a psychopath.
Yeah, great. She was a Mary Poppins of the drug war.
Yeah,
great.
and the way that they kind of took you up. The last episode, it was like boop, and they just ran the credits. Like,
oh no.
It was kind of, it was the ending. And I heard people before I started watching it, people said the ending fell flat. And I see why they said it fell flat because, and I
you can spoil it. Nobody is, if you haven't seen it by now, it doesn't matter. So what was the ending?
So basically the end was so when it got down to the point that she knew she was about to get killed by the cartel, she turned herself in. All the stuff you can find on Wikipedia, right? She turned herself in and then she was in jail for 7 years, right? And then the cop who got her caught up comes to jail right when she's supposed to get out to tell her that all of her children outside of her youngest, she had 4 boys, 3 boys, 3 of them were murdered. And she told them exactly how they got murdered. And they said they did it to you because they wanted you to feel the most pain you could before you came out of jail. And then they went to a beach scene and then they ran the credits to how she died. That was it. I was like, y'all got real lazy at the end. Like...
Well, didn't she die? Wasn't she killed in prison?
No.
Wasn't it a hit done in jail?
No. She was killed in Mexico, leaving a butcher shop. 2012.
Oh, was it Sunday? Like it was like some weird Sunday dinner. She was getting food for Sunday dinner. I feel like it was something weird. Like she was.
For what they ran across the screen is that she was coming out the butcher shop and somebody just shot her. She was 69 years old.
Okay.
So.
We watched One Love over the weekend, and it was just as wonderful as I thought it was going to be. The Bob Marley movie, One Love.
Oh yeah. It was very good. It was very good. We saw that in the theater. I saw that in the theater. I'm so glad I didn't take the kids because the kids were like, I was going to take them, and then I saw that. So I said, no, y'all go over there and go see Willy Wonka, and I'm going to go over to this theater and go watch One Love.
It wasn't inappropriate, though. It could have been inappropriate, and it wasn't. The one part that was killing me, so for those people know this, my husband and mother-in-law are West Indian. They're Indian, but they're West Indian with them thick accents or whatever. So when they're talking on the screen, I was like, can y'all make the subtitles bigger? They're like, you don't understand what they're saying? I was like, no, and don't make fun of me about it. Just make the subtitles bigger so I can understand. I had to read the subtitles.
That's so funny because Trey's the same way. It's like when what's the girl name? Pretty V, when she does her little skits, when she's the Jamaican woman and she's sitting on her porch talking, and I can understand it. And then Trey's like, what is she saying? I said, you ain't been around enough Caribbean people. I understand Caribbeans when they talk. They're hilarious to me, especially when they get mad. I
can't, but in the movie where you're trying to follow the plot, it's different when, like, again, when your mother-in-law is talking to you and telling you got to do stuff. It's different when you're going to follow a storyline and then understand what's going on. But the acting in there,
70% of Griselda was subtitles, so you couldn't look away. But go ahead, acting in One Love. Go ahead.
The acting in One Love was amazing. I loved all the actors. I love who I can never think of the woman's name. She's been in a lot of things. She was in Captain Marvel. She was in Woman King. She's in
That played
this.
his wife, Rita Marley, right?
Rita, she's a great actress, beautiful woman, great actress. And I didn't know that Rita played such an instrumental. Like I knew what she was his wife and they'd been together for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that she was also a background singer and also someone, regardless of how many women he slept with.
Yeah.
That is who he always was like, no, I need her to be here because I need her. I need her.
Yeah.
So
you know,
it was good.
And there's some people who are big Marley fans who say that the scene where Bob got shot was embellished. That's not how it happened. I need to go read her account of it, because I said, well, it was one of the Marleys. I think it's Stephen Marley, who was producer of this film, but at the same time he was a kid. So, you know, he was very young, I'm assuming, when this happened. So maybe he didn't know to remember it accurately or whatever. But anyway.
But why wouldn't he ask his stepmother? Because Steven's not Rita's son.
Yeah, don't give me the line about the kids.
He's got 11 kids and only 3 are from Rita. And 2 of her kids are not his. So, you know, it gets a little dicey.
That's education to me, because it's all them Marleys out there, boy, with the Marley names. They running wild. All right, I'm about to go ahead and go finish watching this game. We holler at y'all next week. Peace.